Huge FC Barcelona fan. Being there as an employee, which is of course a different vibe, and also you kind of have different concerns in your mind, like you're more thinking about the commercial stuff rather than just the game.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Stories. Today, I'm here with Jessie Engelhart, founding partner of Sensato Sports Law. How are you doing today, Jessie?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime. You were working for FC Barcelona. Can you talk about a highlight from working at FC Barcelona?
Yeah, so for me, I'm a huge FC Barcelona fan, always have been. I guess because FC Barcelona is such a Dutch club, it's been conquered by the Dutch kind of. So for me, I think it was just being there, working inside the Camp Nou from the offices, being near the players and really feeling like you're inside of the club. A highlight, I think it's just some of the matches that I've attended, like Clásicos, like Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Champions League matches. And being there as an employee, which is of course a different vibe, and also you kind of have different concerns in your mind, like you're more thinking about the commercial stuff rather than just the game. But that was very fun.
Definitely. And I have to ask you, who do you think the greatest soccer player of all time is?
Messi.
No debate. The Ronaldo Messi debate ends here.
No.
Since then, you've started your own law firm, Sensato Sports Law. What's been one highlight or really special moment since starting your own law firm?
It's a complicated one. I think getting my first client, I think that was very rewarding to me, because I felt I was kind of suffering from this imposter syndrome that everyone talks about, where I felt like I'm too young to be able to be starting my own law firm. Everyone's telling me should you be doing this? I'm not sure this is the right move for you. And then when I got my first client, I was like, okay, so if I can get one, I can get multiple, because I kind of felt like I cracked the formula, which at the end there is none. But I guess that was the most memorable moment. Yeah. Talk
a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
So it's been quite the journey. I wasn't really sure, I never knew, it's not I knew all my life that I wanted to be a sports lawyer. I didn't even know that a sports lawyer existed, I guess, because of the lack of awareness or just my ignorance, I'm not sure. So I did law school and I just couldn't really find any specific area that I wanted to specialize in. I just didn't really like any of them that much. So eventually I just did some internships, and during one internship I was dealing with some sponsoring contracts, and that's kind of how I realized that okay, sports law is a thing, it's this whole niche of law out there that I'm not aware of, which is kind of a cocktail of different areas of law. And that's kind of how I got into it, and I decided to do a master's in that area. Through a lot of networking and creating my own opportunities, I eventually ended up at Barça, then UEFA. And then eventually I decided to start my own firm. But yeah, it's been anything but traditional, I would say, my path.
Talk just quickly about some of the greatest challenges and rewards from starting Sensato.
Definitely. I think there's been so many challenges that people maybe don't talk about much. It's just kind of starting a startup, because obviously now, starting the company, I was kind of the first day I was in charge of everything. And I remember actually the first day launching my website and thinking that clients were just going to come to me somehow. And I was just sitting there waiting behind my computer, okay, when are we going to get the first client? And he didn't come for a few weeks at least. So I realized it was really dependent on me, that if I don't work, there's not going to be any income, there's not going to be any clients, there's not going to be a firm. So having self-discipline was super important. Also because I do work from all over the place. I don't have we're a virtual firm, so I don't have one specific office. We work from co-working spaces, different countries, whatever. Having that self-discipline is very difficult, or was very challenging to me, because you're just not in that same mindset when you just come from working for someone else. You're kind of you have this to-do list, and at the end of the day you go home, and now everything depended on me. And also wearing multiple hats. So I had to be the salesperson, I had to be the marketing person, I had to be the lawyer, doing all these different things at the same time. Mm-hmm. And law school didn't really prepare me for that. In law school, you just learn about the code of law, that's it. And all these other things, just selling yourself, which are soft skills that I really wish I would have invested in before. But yeah, so all those things were very challenging. But then, of course, on the other hand, like I said, the liberty of being able to live wherever I want to live. I live between Madrid and Barcelona now, but also Holland. I travel all the time. I go to a lot of conferences. If I don't want to wake up early tomorrow, I don't necessarily have to. If I don't have any cases pending, like just having that freedom for me is something that's kind of why I work in the first place. Like I think that's what life is about. So yeah, that's the biggest reward, I would say.
That was awesome. I really appreciate that. And I think, the 9 to 5 isn't for everyone, and you're living proof of that. And in addition to being a, business leader and an entrepreneur, something that I really admire about your work is your mentorship and your desire to give back. So I just wanted to ask you, why is giving back so important to you? Because I think a lot of people in your position as an industry leader, not that they don't give back, but I think you proactively give back and you make it a point to meet new people. And I really think that's just super awesome. So what is it about giving back that's so important to you and paying it forward?
Well, thanks so much for saying that. I appreciate that. I think just because I was in that same position as a lot of students are nowadays, are listening to me or to these podcasts. Like I was in their shoes, like half a decade ago. And I guess I wish I had someone that like a mentor figure, basically someone I could learn from, someone that was relatable, someone that I could ask silly questions to. Like I wish I had someone that I could just ask to, like, hey, what does it mean to be a sports lawyer? What does a day look like of a sports lawyer? And those are things that, especially in law, there's a lot of like gatekeeping, and it's all super, super professional. Like, it's kind of like this invincible or untouched area. And yeah, like I had no one to relate to, no one to really ask questions to. Also being a female in this industry, I just feel like it's kind of my task to be proactive and to help other people. And yeah, so far so good.
One piece of advice you'd give to someone who's watching this and they either want to work in sports law, or really any, industry that's their dream industry or their dream job?
So I would say, and like my advice kind of changes every few weeks because I learn new things. But for now, I would say the most actionable advice I could give is to start building their personal brand, which is kind of something that I underestimated in the beginning, which is again related to networking. Like it all kind of comes together, but being visible and making yourself visible, because like you can be the best expert in your field, but if no one knows about you, no one's going to come to you. No recruiter, no clients, no one. And so that's something that I really invested in, like in myself and in building my brand, so that I don't depend on any logo of any company. So I guess, yeah, becoming more visible online, posting regularly, doing podcasts like you do, for example, writing blogs, whatever it is to gain visibility, to share your expertise with others, to make yourself known. I think that's a great piece of advice that I wish I would have gotten back in the day. And I think now personal branding is a bit more of a thing. But yeah, it's something not to be forgotten and to focus on, I would say.
Absolutely. And it's definitely accessible with, platforms like LinkedIn and YouTube, connecting with people, in the industry or around the world. So I think that's super valuable. Jessie, thank you very much for taking the time. If there's anything else you'd like to add, the floor is yours. If you have any shout outs or where people can find you to follow along on your journey.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram and on LinkedIn or on my website. I don't know if you can put it in the comment section. My name, Jessie Engelhart, which is a bit difficult maybe for Americans to spell. So, but yeah, I'm on those platforms and I'm quite active. I also have a newsletter for aspiring sports industry professionals where I share one actionable sports career tip every week, which is for free. So I guess you could sign up there and you'll stay informed of my whereabouts.
Great. Thank you so much, Jessie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.